Arjun wasted time. Despite his talents, he often found himself distracted. His desk was a mess and his mind wandered. He squandered hours on video games. The virtual worlds captivated him, pulling him away from his responsibilities. He would tell himself just one more level, but it was never just one. He chatted endlessly with friends. Schoolwork, that could wait. His parents warned him. They saw the hours slipping away, but Arjun was too engrossed in the moment. Time is precious, they'd say. Arjun just shrugged. He believed he had all the time in the world. The future seemed distant, and the present was too enjoyable to worry about. He had plenty of time, or so he thought. Exams arrived. Arjun hadn't prepared. His grades plummeted. The ticking clock became a haunting reminder of the time he had lost. Disappointment clouded his parents' faces. They had hoped for so much more from him. Their concern was palpable, and their disappointment stung. Arjun felt a pang of regret. The realization hit him hard. He had let himself down, and he had let his family down. The weight of his choices pressed heavily on his shoulders. He had wasted his time, the hours he could never get back, the opportunities he had missed. It was a harsh lesson, but one he needed to learn. His heart heavy, Arjun sought out his grandfather. The old man had always been a source of wisdom and comfort. Arjun hoped he could find some guidance. The old man had a gentle wisdom about him. His eyes held years of experience, and his smile was reassuring. He listened patiently as Arjun spoke. Arjun poured out his woes. He spoke of his wasted time, his plummeting grades, and the disappointment he had caused. It was a moment of vulnerability. He confessed his wasted time and the consequences he now faced. The old man nodded, understanding the weight of Arjun's words. It was a turning point, a moment of realization. His grandfather listened patiently. When Arjun finished, the old man smiled softly. "Time, my boy," he began, "is like a river. It flows ever onward, never stopping, never turning back." Arjun frowned. He didn't understand. His grandfather chuckled. "Let me tell you a story," he said. "A story about a king and the value of time." Arjun leaned closer, eager to hear the tale. His grandfather began the story of King Vikram. King Vikram was a powerful ruler. He had vast wealth and a mighty army. His kingdom stretched far and wide, and his subjects revered him. The grand palace he resided in was a testament to his power and influence. But King Vikram had a flaw. He wasted time. Despite his immense power and resources, he often found himself lost in daydreams and idle thoughts. He would spend hours in his luxurious chambers doing nothing of significance. Days turned into weeks as he indulged in frivolous pursuits. The calendar pages flipped and the sun rose and set, but King Vikram remained unchanged. He was caught in a cycle of procrastination. He put off important decisions, documents piled up on his desk, and urgent matters were left unattended. His advisors grew increasingly concerned. He ignored the warnings of his advisors. They pleaded with him to take action, to make decisions that would benefit the kingdom. But King Vikram dismissed their concerns with a wave of his hand. One day, a wise sage visited the king. The sage had traveled from a distant land, bringing with him wisdom and knowledge. He'd heard of King Vikram's plight and sought to offer guidance. He spoke of the fleeting nature of time. He compared it to the sand in an hourglass and the rapid flow of a river. Time, he said, waits for no one. He urged the king to seize the day. King Vikram scoffed. He believed he had all the time in the world. He laughed dismissively, confident in his own immortality. He had all the time in the world, or so he thought. He continued to lounge and procrastinate, ignoring the sage's wise words. Time, however, waits for no one. Years flew by. King Vikram grew old. His health declined. The once mighty ruler was now a shadow of his former self. His kingdom suffered from his neglect. The once prosperous land was now desolate. The grand palace was abandoned, overgrown with vegetation. King Vikram's legacy was one of wasted potential and lost opportunities. Section 4. A Lesson Learned. As King Vikram lay on his deathbed, he was filled with regret. He had squandered his time, he had accomplished little, and now it was too late. The sage's warnings echoed in his ears. The king had learned his lesson, but at a terrible cost. Arjun listened intently to his grandfather's tale. He understood the message. Time, like the river, flowed ever onward. Once past, it was gone forever. Section 5. Time, the ultimate treasure. Time is an elusive entity, always moving forward, never waiting for anyone. It is the ultimate treasure that we all possess, yet often take for granted. Arjun resolved to change his ways. He created a schedule, he prioritized his tasks, He limited distractions. He knew that managing his time effectively was the key to unlocking his potential. He focused on his studies, dedicating himself to learning. Every minute spent on his education was an investment in his future. He understood that knowledge was power and time was the currency to acquire it. Slowly but surely, Arjun's grades improved. His hard work and dedication were paying off. The results were a testament to his newfound respect for time. He felt a sense of accomplishment. The satisfaction of seeing his efforts bear fruit was unparalleled. It was a feeling that motivated him to keep going. He had learned to value time. Each moment was precious and he was determined not to waste it. He realized that time, once lost, could never be regained. Time, Arjun realized, was the most precious treasure. It was more valuable than any material possession. It was the foundation upon which he could build his dreams. Used wisely, it could bring success and fulfillment. It was the key to achieving his goals and aspirations. With time on his side, there was nothing he couldn't accomplish. Wasted, it led to regret and missed opportunities. The choice was his, and Arjun chose wisely.